Hi there. I'm Brad Rudin, Agronomy Tech Services Manager with AgTegra Cooperative, out here in our plots today, actually under our plots today, with a Tech Tips update. I want to do a follow-up a little bit from our Innovation FieldFest event that was this last week here at our plots near our Bath, South Dakota location. We're out in the root pit today. One of the features that we did this last week was talking about downforce settings with planters. And specifically in this particular plot, we want to look at auto standard downforce done with some precision agricultural equipment called Delta Force downforce units on our plot planter and comparing that to a standard downforce setting of 375 pounds on each row. Why would we look at auto standard downforce? Well, auto standard downforce will vary the downforce on each row as we go throughout the field. And with the Delta Force units, we can do that in a very rapid manner and respond immediately to the conditions that that planter is sensing on each row. And if we look at that treatment in this plot, the auto standard plot, and specifically look at the root development, we'll see that these plants have some very good root development. We have a nice wide root system underneath this particular plant, and we have good root development way over here crossing between our two rows. This means that both of these plants will have access to the nutrients that are spread across this entire spectrum of soil. If we compare that over here to the 375 pounds standard downforce, where we have a single setting that we're using constantly throughout the field, what we see in here is a much narrower system. This is telling us that 375 pounds downforce was excessive for this particular soil at the time of planting. And we got a narrower root system. And we do not have that development of those roots from row to row. In other words, there's a gap in here where there's very little root development. And this is the area where we would often do a side dress fertilizer application. And these plants in the high downforce area would not have access to all the nutrients that are applied here, at least not until they get very deep down in the soil. Additional difference, if we look at between the two treatments, is that auto standard has some fine roots that go down as deep as 5 foot, which is the bottom of our plot trench here. Where if I look at the 375 pounds downforce, they max out here at about 3 foot deep. And most importantly for you as the grower, if we look at ear development, our auto standard downforce produced some very even ears going down the length of this row. I took these different ears from about 50 foot apart on each one going down the row, and you can see fairly uniform ear development. That's important for maximizing plant development and maximizing ROI. This is an adjustment that's been happening on a constant basis down the length of that row, depending upon the soil conditions. If I looked at a constant downforce, we can see that we have ears that are just simply not as uniformly developed. Some areas we had very good downforce and got an excellent looking ear. Other areas, I would suspect that we were overpressured on downforce, maybe compacted that soil right around that particular seed and didn't allow that plant to develop. And we got a much smaller ear with much more tip back at the tip. So looking at downforce can make a huge difference in your plant development on your farm. So visit with your agronomy team and our precision agriculture specialists at AgTegra Cooperative to see what you can do to upgrade your planter to look at affecting downforce and maximizing that efficiency of that downforce to be able to maximize that plant production on your farm. And that will affect the ROI in your operation. Thank you, and have a safe and productive fall.